Welcome to another video in our educational series on labor laws. In this series, we will provide an overview of the acts related to labor laws that are applicable in India. The primary aim of this series is to offer a quick and convenient reference to the essential provisions of labor laws. Hello, I am your host, Sara, which stands for Sarvagya Artificial Robotic Assistant. In today's video, I will provide a brief overview of the Payment of Bonus Act, 1965. Throughout this video, I will explain the critical sections of the Act that everyone should be aware of. Let's get started with the video. The heart of any Act lies in its applicability. According to Section 1 of the Act, every factory that employs 10 or more persons with the use of power, any establishment in which 20 or more persons are employed without the use of power on any day during the accounting year. Bonus eligibility. Section 8 of the Act specifies that every employee is entitled to receive a bonus from their employer in an accounting year, in accordance with the provisions of this Act. This entitlement is granted provided that the employee has worked in the establishment for a minimum of 30 days during that accounting year or the relevant subject year. Computation of the number of working days as per Section 14. When calculating the minimum of 30 working days, certain factors are included. These factors consists of employee layoff, leave with pay, temporary disablement caused by an accident in the course of employment, and maternity leave. Simply these days are included in the computation of the number of working days. Components of bonus. There is often confusion among HR professionals and others regarding whether bonus is payable on the basic salary or the gross salary. To clarify this, we can refer to Section to subsection 21 of the Act, which provides a clear definition of salary or wages for the computation of bonus. Section to subsection 21 states that all allowances paid on a monthly basis are considered part of the salary or wages. Allowances that are exempted from being considered as part of salary or wages include variable allowances such as overtime, incentive, commission, etc. Other allowances that are also exempted from being included in salary or wages are leave travel concession, any bonuses like incentive, production, and attendance bonuses, any contributions paid or payable by the employer to the employee's provident fund, gratuity, retrenchment compensation, or any ex gratia payments. Minimum bonus. Section 10. As of the 2014 amendment to the Bonus Act, Section 10 stipulates that an establishment is required to pay a minimum bonus at a rate of 8.33% of the minimum wage or Rs 7,000. Whichever of the two is higher. This amendment brought about changes to Section 10 of the Bonus Act. Maximum bonus allowed, Section 11. According to Section 11 of the Bonus Act, if in any accounting year, the allocable surplus exceeds the amount of minimum bonus, the employer is obligated to pay a bonus to the employees in proportion to the salary or wages earned by them during that accounting year. However, the maximum bonus that can be paid in such cases is capped at 20% of the salary or wages earned by the employee during that accounting year. Special provision for newly set up establishments, Section 16. Section 16 of the Bonus Act provides a special provision for newly established establishments. These establishments are exempted from paying bonus for the first 5 years during which the employer conducts economic activities in the company, provided that the establishment is running at a loss. However, if the establishment reports a profit in any given year during this period, it becomes mandatory for the employer to pay a bonus. Starting from the 6th year onwards, even if the establishment reports a loss in its balance sheet, the employer is still required to pay a minimum percentage of bonus to the employees. Time limit for payment of bonus, Section 19. As per Section 19 of the Bonus Act, the payment of bonus is to be made annually, and it should be done within 8 months from the close of the accounting year. This section establishes the time frame for the annual payment of bonuses to employees. Employee's obligation, wage or salary ceiling, Section 12. According to Section 12 of the Bonus Act, the employer's obligation regarding the payment of bonus is applicable to employees who are drawing wages up to Rs 21,000 per month or less. It's important to note that for the purpose of calculating the bonus, the minimum wage payable to an employee per month will be considered, even if an employee is drawing up to Rs 21,000 per month. This section sets the wage or salary ceiling for determining which employees are eligible for bonus payments. Penal provisions, Section 28. Section 28 of the Bonus Act stipulates the penalties for contravention of any provision of the Act or rules. In case of a contravention, the penalty may involve imprisonment for a period of up to 6 months or a fine of up to Rs 1,000, or both. This section outlines the consequences for violating the provisions of the Act or its associated rules. Methods of calculation. Calculate gross profit according to the specified method. The second schedule is used for all factories, shops, and commercial establishments. Calculate the available surplus. Available surplus is equal to gross profit less depreciation under Section 32 of the Income Tax Act. Development rebate or allowance. Direct taxes payable for the accounting year, calculated as per Section 7. Sum specified under the third schedule. Add. Direct taxes in respect of gross profits for the year immediately preceding the accounting year. Direct tax in respect of such gross profits as reduced by the amount of bonus for the immediately preceding accounting year. Calculate the allocable surplus. Allocable surplus can be calculated as 60% of the available surplus, 67% in the case of a foreign company. Make adjustments for set-on and set-off. For calculating the amount of bonus for an accounting year, the allocable surplus is computed after considering the amount of set-on and set-off from previous years as illustrated in the fourth schedule. The allocable surplus, so computed, is then distributed among the employees in proportion to the salary or wages received by them during the relevant accounting year. Calculation of statutory bonus. The statutory bonus payable as per the Act is 8.33% or the minimum wage, whichever is higher, of the salary or wages paid to an eligible employee, regardless of whether the employer has made profits or not. The definition of salary or wages paid is governed by Section 2 subsection 21 of this Act, as explained previously. Hence, 8.33% is the minimum statutory bonus that must be paid. However, depending on the profits, the employer may pay a maximum of 20% as a bonus to eligible employees. Maintenance of registers and records. To ensure compliance with the Bonus Act, the following registers must be maintained. Form A. A register showing the computation of the allocable surplus, as per Clause 4 of Section 2. Form B. A register showing the set-on and set-off of the allocable surplus, as per Section 15. Form C. A register showing the details of the amount of bonus due, the deductions, and the amount actually disbursed to each of the employees, as per Sections 17 and 18. Submission of returns. As for the submission of returns, the following requirements apply. Section 19, Rule 5. Form D should be submitted to the inspector within 30 days of the expiry of the time limit. This form is used to provide information and details related to bonus calculations and payments, and it must be submitted within the stipulated time frame. Disqualification and deduction of bonus, Section 9 and 18. Under Section 9 and 18 of the Bonus Act, an employee can be disqualified from receiving bonus or have their bonus deducted in cases of dismissal for fraud, engaging in riotous or violent behavior while on the premises of the establishment, being involved in theft, misappropriation, or sabotage of any property of the establishment, misconduct leading to financial loss to the employer to the extent that bonus can be deducted for that year, These provisions allow for the disqualification or deduction of bonus as a consequence of certain actions or behaviors by the employee that are detrimental to the establishment or involve misconduct. Is a seasonal worker entitled to get bonus? Section 8 of the Bonus Act establishes the eligibility criteria for receiving a bonus, and it requires that an employee should have worked in the establishment for not less than 30 working days in an accounting year. Therefore, if a seasonal worker has worked in an establishment for more than 30 working days in an accounting year, they are entitled to receive a bonus. Important judgments of High Courts or Supreme Court. The Payment of Bonus Act, 1965 has been the subject of various legal interpretations and judgments by the High Courts and the Supreme Court of India. Some of the important judgments related to the Act include Associated Cement Companies Limited vs. R.K. Nayak, 1963. This landmark case was instrumental in the framing of the Payment of Bonus Act, 1965. The Supreme Court ruled that a bonus was a statutory right of the employees, and this decision laid the foundation for the subsequent legislation. Bank of India vs. Sangpo Shelters, 2006. In this case, the Supreme Court clarified that employees were eligible for bonus even if the establishment was not earning any profit. The judgment emphasized that bonus was a statutory right of the employees and profit was not a condition for its payment. Kesoram Industries Limited vs. Secretary, Calcutta Cloth Dealers Association, 2003. This case addressed the issue of whether employees of a Sikh industrial company were eligible for bonus. The Supreme Court ruled that employees of a Sikh unit could receive bonus even if the company was not making profits. Sri Meenakshi Mills Limited vs. Commissioner of Labour, Tamil Nadu, 2014. This case clarified the treatment of special allowances in the calculation of bonus. The Supreme Court ruled that special allowances paid by the employer should be included in the calculation of bonus, provided they formed part of the employee's remuneration. Gujarat Steel Tubes Limited vs. State of Gujarat, 1980. In this case, the Supreme Court clarified the definition of employee under the Payment of Bonus Act. The judgment held that even persons not directly employed but engaged through contractors could be considered employees for the purpose of the Act. Here are some important judgments as per Payment of Bonus Act, 1965 in India by Supreme Court which are affecting the general interpretation of the Act. Union of India vs. United Planters Association of Southern India, 1995. The Supreme Court held that the Payment of Bonus Act, 1965 applies to all employees, regardless of their salary or designation. This means that even employees who are above the wage ceiling are entitled to bonus under the Act. This judgment has significantly expanded the scope of the Act and has ensured that all employees, including those who are highly paid, are entitled to bonus. Bajaj Auto Limited vs. Workmen, 2007. The Supreme Court held that the concept of available surplus under the Payment of Bonus Act, 1965 is a dynamic concept and should be interpreted in a liberal manner. This means that the employer cannot make arbitrary deductions from the gross profits while calculating the available surplus for bonus purposes. This judgment has made it clear that the employer cannot deprive employees of their rightful bonus by making unreasonable deductions from the gross profits. Tata Consultancy Services Limited vs. Workmen, 2011. The Supreme Court held that IT employees are entitled to bonus under the Payment of Bonus Act, 1965, even if their salaries are above the wage ceiling. The court held that IT employees are not covered by any special exemption from the Act. This judgment has brought IT employees under the ambit of the Payment of Bonus Act, 1965, and has ensured that they are entitled to bonus on the same terms as other employees. Steel Authority of India Limited vs. Workmen, 2014. The Supreme Court held that the employer cannot set off losses from one year against the profits of another year while calculating the available surplus for bonus purposes. This judgment has ensured that the employer cannot deprive employees of their bonus by setting off losses from previous years. Union of India versus Workmen of Indian Airlines Limited, 2015. The Supreme Court held that the government is liable to pay bonus to its employees under the Payment of Bonus Act, 1965. The court held that the government cannot claim any exemption from the Act. This judgment has brought government employees under the ambit of the Payment of Bonus Act, 1965, and has ensured that they are entitled to bonus on the same terms as other employees. These judgments have had a significant impact on the general interpretation of the Payment of Bonus Act, 1965. They have made it clear that the Act should be interpreted in a liberal manner and that the employer cannot deprive employees of their rightful bonus by making arbitrary deductions from the gross profits or by setting off losses from previous years. The judgments have also expanded the scope of the Act to cover all employees, including those who are highly paid and those who work for the government. The general interpretation of the Payment of Bonus Act, 1965 has been liberalized over the years by the Supreme Court. The court has held that the Act should be interpreted in a manner that protects the interests of employees and ensures that they receive their fair share of the profits of the enterprise. While we've covered the key provisions of the Bonus Act, it's crucial to remember that legal matters are intricate and nuanced. For personalized guidance and interpretation, seek advice from a qualified professional. Let us continue this conversation in the comments section. Share your experiences, ask questions, and let's build a community of informed citizens. It is the end of this video. If you feel this video was informative, give it a thumbs up, subscribe us for more legal adventures, and don't forget to share the knowledge with your fellow workers and friends. Knowledge is power, and financial literacy is the ultimate bonus. Thanks for watching.